Welcome to the series of Microsoft Azure. In the previous video of this series, we have seen how to create an Azure account and start free trial. You can check the link of the video in the upper right corner. Today, we'll learn how to create a SQL database server from Azure portal and connect to the SQL server using the client tool like the SQL Server Management Studio and the Azure Data Studio. So let's get started. So after login to portal.azure.com, please search the SQL database. And after choosing the SQL database from the services, click on the start with the Azure free trial and then create the SQL database. So into this create SQL database, the subscription will be the free trial and the resource group. Have to create a new resource group by providing a name. Next, the database name we have to provide, and the server, if you don't have any server, so we have to create a new SQL database server. So click on create new, and here I have to put the server name, and each one will be as it is, and it will be the authentication will be use SQL authentication. Here I have to create the admin login by providing the username and the password. The name is already taken, so already used, so we have to change the name to SQL DB demo and append number like 2023. Next, I will create the SQL database server. After creating, it will be redirected to the SQL database and it will be selected by default. Then we in the basics, you can check the estimated cost for the production and the development. Next, we have the networking. In the networking, so we'll take the public endpoint and allow services to resource to the access service. We will select this yes. Next, we'll go to the security and I will keep as it is. And for the data source, so without creating the blank data set, we will took the sample data set which will contain some tables and the table contains some data. Next, tag will not putting anything, and next we will review whatever input we given and will create. It will create after some times. It's submitting the deployment, and after that you can access the uh, database. You will get all the details. There is the deployment is in progress. So next, I will search for the SQL servers from the service. I will pick the SQL servers and we'll get our SQL servers, whatever we created, and go inside the SQL server. We'll get the details of the SQL server. And next, we need to install the SSMS SQL Server Management Studio to connect to the SQL database from our local. And it needs some details like the SQL server name, username, and the password. Here we will get the server name. Just copy it. And the authentication will be the SQL Server authentication, the login for the admin we created. And if we connect, it will be connected to our uh, created SQL server in the Azure. Next, we will access the SQL DB demo, and inside SQL DB demo, there will some sample tables. So here we can open the query window and select run the select query from those sample tables. Now, if I select top 10 from the sales to the LT customers, we will get the top 10 results. And next, we'll try to create a table and insert into the table. So we'll create a table person, which will have the first name, last name, and the first name will have some constraint, like it shouldn't less than 3 characters and it should not exist. So we have the check constraint here. And length of the first name will be greater than 3, and length of the first name will be less than 50. Next we will have the last name, which will also be varchar, and next we will have the age, which will be in integer. And age should not be greater than 130. Age can be 130 but not greater than 130. So if we execute this query, it will create the table, and we can refresh the tables and we will get these person tables there. Next we will fire the query insert, so that we can insert a row into the person table. First we will try with the two words in the first name. It will definitely throw error. So we have the constants of 3 characters, at least 3 characters. So you can see it's throwing error. Now we'll give more than 3 and it will be inserted. You can see it's inserted. Now I will select from this table. You can say we are giving the results. Next we will access it from the Azure Data Studio. For that we will install the Azure Data Studio from the Microsoft site. So if I open the Azure Data Studio, Here you can create a connection by providing the details like server. Just we did it's same we did in the SSMS, and the authentication will be the SQL login, and we have to provide the username and the password. So you'll get the server details from the SQL servers. I will copy and paste it there. And the username will be our admin login username and the password. And next, if we hit connect, it will be connected to the SQL database. And inside database, you can perform various operations like query, like select, update, uh, create, all the things. But it looks better than the SQL Server Management Studio. And here we can select top 1000 rows of the person. Anyway, person have only one column, only one row, sorry. And customer will have more rows, so we can select top 1000 rows from the customer. And here you can get the results. So that's all for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.